Hello, everyone. I'm Saleha, and this is Chai, Chat, and Community. Meet my guest, Naureen Choudhry, who's standing for the Victorian Council elections from the Oakleigh Ward, Monash Council. Hello, Naureen. How are you?
Hi, Saleha. Hi, everybody, whoever is watching. Welcome to the show. Such a lovely initiative, Saleha.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you. Um, Naureen, before I start asking you questions, can you please tell us something about your background?
My background. So, Saleha, I'm originally from Pakistan. And my parents were economic migrants, so we kept moving from one country to another. I call it country hopping. So I've lived in about 5 countries so far. So the first stop was in the Middle East, and I was 3 years old when we moved there. And from the Middle East, we had this amazing opportunity to travel around the world. My father
Wow.
used to get free family tickets for, whatever destination once per year. So we've been to Europe and Africa and all sorts of other Middle Eastern countries. And then when I was about 12 or 13, my parents decided to migrate to Canada.
Oh, okay. Lovely
So,
place.
yeah, it's a beautiful place, but very cold,
Very
I must
cold,
say.
yes.
So from a very hot country, we went to a
From
very cold
Yes, from Middle East to
place.
Canada. Wow.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. So I started my high school in Montreal. And as you know, Montreal is in Quebec, which is the French-speaking province of Canada. So I'm bilingual in French as well.
Wow, you know French.
I speak French fluent. So I completed my high school in French immersion. And then you may have heard of McGill University, which is one of
Yes,
the really renowned
yes,
universities in Montreal.
yeah.
So I graduated with a degree in biology, and my specialization was in human genetics. This is
Wow.
back in 1999. I graduated. So, when you hear my full story, you'll be able to calculate how old I am.
We are not
Um,
discussing age. You
we're not
talked
discussing
graduate.
age. No ageism here. And in Canada, it was a very multicultural sort of an environment. I got my first exposure to Spanish communities and Jewish communities and the Pakistani and Indian diaspora there. Again, a lot of opportunities to travel within North America. And then after I graduated, my parents got the opportunity to move to New York City, which was fantastic.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we moved there the year before 9/11 happened.
I used to work with a
So
US company in Delhi, so I know
in
exactly what happened. Yes.
2001, yeah. So Saleha, when I speak to community presentations or groups of students, I sort of tell them that I divide my life in a pre 9/11 sort of a phase, and now we live in a post 9/11 sort of a phase, because that one event has really changed the course of many people's lives,
Yes.
and I was in the thick of it, just as everyone else was. And my father was in New York City on that day.
Wow.
He didn't get home till 10 p.m., and we had no way of contacting him.
Wow. Wow. That must have
So
been
that
very
was a
scary.
pretty stressful, pretty drastic sort of an event. But look, the aftermath of 9/11 sort of unfolded very slowly. And this whole rhetoric around Islamic terrorism
Yes.
arose over weeks and months. And whoever identified as a Muslim had to justify their
Yes.
religion and their beliefs. And it was an uphill battle. And I think in some ways it still is. It
It
hasn't
is.
really
Yes.
plateaued.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're a Muslim, then yes, I
Yes,
understand.
exactly. Exactly. So 2001. So I got married in 2005 to my husband, who is still my husband. We've been married for
Congratulations.
15 years. Yes,
I've
yes,
been
I
married for only
definitely see that.
34.
Only 34. Wow, you're
Only 34.
you're doing really amazingly, Saleha. That's for sure. And our marriage was an arranged marriage, even though I was raised in Canada and the US. And that's a question I get a lot. Why did you let your parents choose your husband, even though you were raised in the West? And, it's such an anti-feminist thing to think that you're going to be arranged. But I felt the opposite. I felt like I was liberated. I didn't have the pressure of being someone to please others, So it was an arranged marriage, and my husband was settled in Australia. So in 2005, I came here, and it's been a really fun journey since then. I have 2 children. My son is 14 and my daughter is 12. And here I am, still studying. Yeah, 2 teenagers. So now we're moving from the childhood phase to the teenage phase, and it's bringing its own challenges with it.
Yeah, yes, you don't know which is worse or which is better.
Look, at least they can feed themselves and, bathe themselves. So that's definitely a win. But, the challenges of parenting these days are very different than when we were growing up. Social media is probably the biggest difference. I wouldn't say it's a curse. I think anything can be a blessing or a curse. It's the way you use it. So I've always empowered my children with knowledge and information so that they can make the right decisions, hopefully the right decisions and not the wrong ones.
I'm sure
and look, and even if they do make mistakes, it's a learning opportunity. We know we've done many things which we shouldn't have, but we've turned out okay, so they'll be fine. And Saleha, I did want to mention that I am still studying. I'm doing my master's in international relations at Monash, so I'm halfway through, chugging along a little by little. So yeah, so that's very exciting. I decided to go back when the kids were old enough to sort of, be on their own. So that's a little bit about me. And I've summarized my whole life in 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to read out some comments. My cousin from Delhi, Rupali, is watching this show.
Hi, Rupali.
So thanks for watching, Rupali. Very, very touched.
Lovely. Hi, Nikhil. How are you?
Beware, there's a team.
Absolutely. And when there's 2, it's double beware.
Yes, double whammy at that. Okay. Now that we've gone through the fun part, hi, Rupali. Very thrilled that you're watching. Great. She's an advertising professional, my cousin, and she's this most gorgeous woman that I've known.
Lovely. Hi, Rupali. Lovely to meet you.
Yes. So, what has been your contribution to the community now, up until now?
Yeah, Saleha, I think like many empowered women that I know, it's in our genetic makeup to give back to whatever environment we're in, right? So I remember back from uni days, right, when I was doing my bachelor's, even before that, even in high school, I was always involved in clubs and associations. And if there wasn't a book club, I was the first one to go and make one, initiate those projects that I was interested in or passionate about. I was part of the Amnesty Club. I was part of the Environment Club, whatever I could get my hands on. I've kind of always been a giver in that sense. But what I've noticed is that by giving, you gain so much.
Of course you do.
Right? Yes. So with each of my volunteer experiences, it was such a positive experience that I kept going. So I think 9/11 was a platform where, an event where we all got these opportunities to engage in very difficult conversations. And I got involved in the interfaith sort of dialogue. And I think my contribution to the community has been in that space. Anything to do with community, whether it's community cohesion, community harmony, community dialogue, I want to immerse myself in that space. It has many advantages. I mean, you kind of put yourself at risk a little bit because you just don't know where the other person is coming
Yes,
from.
absolutely.
But I felt that there was a dearth of women who were accessible, who were willing to answer questions, who had that moderate response, which was so needed in face of such extreme views. So I wanted to give a little, but people wanted more and more. So it's kind of it's been a journey for me. And when I came to Australia, I kind of found a fertile ground here. There was a lot of willingness in the community to engage in that kind of dialogue and develop that understanding. Whenever I contacted media, they were happy to cover my story, to shine a positive light on women's contribution, women of color, and women.
Hello.
So much intersectionality, right? I'm a woman. I'm a religious woman. I'm a woman of color. So. So yes, so I was the secretary of the KC Multi-Faith Network for about 8 years. I was part of a church women's group, which is called Justice and Reconciliation. I was a part of this other amazing organization, which is called Jewish Christian Muslim Association, where Jewish, Christian, and a Muslim panelist go to different schools, and we speak about our religious experiences
Religion, yeah.
and our culture.
Wow.
And to see 3 different persons of faith from the faiths which are perceived to be in conflict with one another is such a strong statement. Whether the kids remember anything we say or not, they will always remember that visual experience of seeing 3 people who got along, who joked around, who shook hands, who, didn't fight with each other. In fact, we agreed with each other. In fact, there is a lot of similarity when you actually...
There is. It's only the politicians who do this, isn't it?
Exactly. So whatever I could do while parenting by myself, I don't have any family here. So my primary responsibility was towards my children, but whatever little bits and pieces of time and opportunities that I got, I kept taking them and soaking them all up. And because of my visibility in this space in the city of KC, one of my local friends who happened to be a politician, she kind of took me under her wing because she is a believer of representation, right? So she said, if you are working for me, then women who are like you, or, they want to see other women working in a politician's office, the barriers will start to break for women entering that political space. So that was a really exciting experience because I had never in my life engaged in politics before. And that's where and that's where I also realized that community engagement it was a strength of mine. Sorry, that's what I was leading to. And the fact that connecting the dots for people really has life-changing effects for people. It's a very difficult system to navigate when you're either a new migrant or you don't speak the language or things were just done differently when you were back home. Somebody who understands the system can break it down for you. Those were the conversations we were having at my friend's office. So it led to a million other opportunities to contribute back. And I think that was a 5-year experience that I will take to my grave as a positive one.
Good. My cousin is just, yes.
Saleha, you know that I was also a recipient of an award for the contributions that I've made.
I shared that. I was so proud to share it. Yes, it's fantastic.
Thank you. So in 2018, I was invited to the Governor House to received the Victorian Meritorious Award for my contributions, and pretty much for creating that community harmony in the city of Casey. That's a little bit about, yeah, my contributions here.
I'm just going to, Rupali, thank you very much. And if you want your friends to watch this program live, like you are saying you want to, they'll have to like my page, which is called Word Palette on Facebook, and they can watch Naureen live. Alternately, I will put this show up either tonight, depending on how tired or not tired I am, on YouTube, or tomorrow first thing in the morning. So by the time you wake up, you'll have this show, and you can share it with all your friends, and they'll meet the amazing Naureen and see what we women of color are doing, outside our birth countries, and we're getting our voices heard, whichever way you want it. So yes, very, 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 very appreciative of Naureen coming to my show. We've only spoken, we've never met, and we had a connection immediately, Rupali. Immediate it was. So.
Look, COVID's kind of brought a little pause in our networking, unfortunately, but hopefully it will start back soon again.
I'm sure. What specific challenges do you face? What specific challenges do you think there are for women, and especially women of color?
So, Saleha, how long do I have?
Start. There is no time.
I've got a really long list of challenges.
Go for it.
Right.
Because somebody needs to speak. And absolutely. I'm glad you're speaking. Yes.
Look, if we want to talk about challenges for women in general, or in the political space, right? I mean, the first thing I want to start with is the systemic barriers that we face, right? Women are responsible for their families. They're responsible for parenting. They're responsible for having those, even me being such an empowered woman, I still have to, I was just folding my laundry 20 minutes ago.
I was making dinner. Yes.
There we go, right? So I can understand why there is a limited number of women who can actually manage all of those things and contribute to the outside world. I mean, I know, and you know, that when we want to do things for ourselves, it's basically our sleep that gets affected, our meals and our exercise time, and all of that goes to the things that we want to achieve. So the systemic barriers are huge in that sense, that when women are afforded those opportunities, they're sort of held back for other personal family reasons. I mean, even if you are working, you have to take maternal leave or other caretaker leave.
Stay home when your children are not well.
Exactly right. So when I look at my professional career, there is a gaping hole of 7 years when I was looking after my children. So I will never have the equal, what is it called here? The retirement fund.
Super.
Super, exactly. I will never have access to those kinds of opportunities. So these are the things which are working against women. I don't know if you know this, but the risk of homelessness in the demographics of retired women is huge.
I read that on ABC.
And I was shocked when I found out, because women may have been insecure relationships, but marriages break down, and they've been contributing to their household, thinking that my husband will look after me, or whatever the situation is, and then they're left alone. It's it really saddens me, because they don't deserve this. I don't know if you've watched this Netflix show. It's called Dirty John.
No.
And they made a series on this woman who gave her everything to her husband, who was he became a, he was studying medicine, and then he decided he didn't like being a doctor, and then he became a lawyer. So about 10 years of their marriage he was studying, and she was earning,
And
she was giving
yeah,
birth to children, parenting pretty much alone. And then when the time came to enjoy the fruits of her patience, he got involved with his secretary and left her for a younger woman. And she ends up actually murdering her husband. It's based on a true story. But
I have to see this. Yes. Okay.
yes, I highly recommend it.
Okay.
But I mean, these are some of the challenges that I see are amplified for women of color. The expectations of their families are so huge. I mean, we don't even want to think about working. Let's talk about driving. Let's talk about learning how to speak English. Let's talk about learning how to use the Mikey card so that I can go to an exhibition which is at the NGV because I like art. None of that. How many times have I asked some of my friends, let's go watch a movie? And they're like, no, I have to put the kids to bed. I mean, what about your husband? Maybe one night of the week you get to go out with friends. So it's so and this is happening in Australia. It's not even happening back home. So these are some of the things that I want to bring to people's attention, and especially to men's attention, that you need to empower these women. Good role models for children are mothers who are not only in the kitchen,
Agree.
who are not only changing diapers. They're out there, they're fulfilling their best self, right? They're becoming their best self. So these were some of the general things, but in politics, right? So I want to highlight two major things. One is the challenges that have arisen due to COVID. This year has been a very different year running a campaign. So when I told you about my politician friend, I actually volunteered on her political campaign, in 2014. And we did a lot of things which were different. She was obviously running for a state seat,
Position. Yes.
but we did, yes. So letterboxing, speaking to the community members, speaking to community leaders, attending sports clubs meetings, really getting your hands into different sort of aspects of what makes a community. This year, till the 30th of August, we didn't even know if the elections were going to be held. There was this background noise that they may get postponed till March, maybe till next year. So we weren't even in the right sort of frame of mind. And then 30th of August, it's all systems go. So it's been a race against time. And for women who work, I work full time, I study part time. It has literally
You're a
been,
mother of two teenagers. Don't forget that.
there we go, yes. It's been go, go, go since the 30th of August. So it's been a month where I'm probably getting around 5 hours of sleep every night. So I hope you can't see my dark
No, I
circles.
can't. You're gorgeous.
um, and then the next uh, big challenge is the financial aspect of this whole campaign. It is so expensive to run a campaign which is meaningful. I mean, I can do tokenistic sort of things which will not cost me a lot of money, but I'm competing against incumbents who already have those community connections and networks and runners and volunteers, and they've already done all of the learning. I'm learning as we go, and the election is in 24 days. So and then figuring out how who you're going to give preferences to, and how is all of this, what does it even mean to give preference to someone. I mean, I knew because I was working for a politician, but these are some of the things which will probably be very intimidating for a person who hasn't done this before or doesn't know that lingo. And for women of color, I mean, it's huge. It's like climbing Mount Everest, to be honest. I have blisters on my feet. I can prove how difficult this is. But again, people who have family support or have the community behind them. I mean, even if this is not about winning the election, it's about the journey. It's about having these conversations, Saleha. When I was
Yes,
writing my
absolutely.
notes for today's conversation, I was like, this is what I want to do. This community engagement, this beautiful relationship that I've just struck up with Saleha, and the
Thank you.
opportunities that it opens, not only for me, for you, for the people who are watching, who
Yes.
and the younger generation. Saleha, I think you and I are the kind of women who bear the burden of a lot of things, and one of them is that we want to leave behind
The
some
stereotypes.
some positive changes
Yes.
for the generations that are behind us. We don't want them to go through similar experiences, not in 2020, not in
Yes.
2030.
And I think,
And
Noreen, another big thing, I think we've been, I would think both of us have been very, very fortunate, is that we have very, supportive families behind us.
exactly.
My husband and my girls have been very supportive. Like you, I did my postgrad while working full time, being a mother
Beautiful.
of two teenage girls.
Good on you.
And you're doing the same. So,
So,
yeah,
women
sorry.
like you inspire other women, right? It's like I think when we first spoke, we talked about this concept of lighting, wo deep se deep jalana, lighting a lamp and
Yes,
then continuing that, paying it forward, sort of a thing.
yes,
So we don't see these inspiring women in our environments on a daily basis. Maybe we see one here, one there. Who if I think of people who inspire me, I mean, who will I name? Is it going to be Kamala Harris? Is it going to be Hillary Clinton? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer. None of them I know personally, or
yes.
so there aren't that many role models out there. We just need to give platform to those who are doing good works, and continue to inspire other women to do good works.
Of course.
Women are going to be the change makers. I know it. I know that for sure.
We will.
In fact, there's actually
We
been
will.
research
Yes.
being done. Excuse me, post COVID, that women, countries that have been led by women
Yes, sir. Yes.
during
Jacinda
COVID have
Ardern.
done
Yes. Angela Merkel have fared so much
exactly,
better. Yes, I agree.
exactly.
Absolutely. Um,
So, what more proof do we need?
yes. I am just going to share, I'm just going to reply to Rupali. Rupali, yes, I will tag you on the post tomorrow. Uh, she says, I'll show you her comments first before there is a question from you,
Okay.
for you, sorry.
Oh, wow. You will experience burnout. Look, yes,
She
that
does
is
the same,
definitely
so she knows, yes. Rupali runs a very successful ad company in Delhi.
excellent, Rupali. Look, don't give up. Yes, burnout is there, but I think what drives me is the passion. I mean, if the passion goes away, then I'll probably die.
It won't die.
So, yeah, exactly. So we need to keep that fire ignited and keep it going.
I have a question for you. Hello, Ange. Thank you for watching. So Angela and I work together in Oakleigh. So there you are. I think she lives somewhere in Oakleigh, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Hi, Angela.
Yes.
How are you? I hope you're doing well.
Um, can you read her
So,
question?
yes, what are
Yes.
the
Okay.
areas you will focus on or be involved in and support? Okay.
Yep.
So, Angela, I want to be a counselor for everyone. I don't want to be a counselor just for women. One of the things that I am really passionate about is look, for the past week or so, I've been letterboxing in the ward. So I've really seen what the issues are. It's a well established community. We need to improve our infrastructure and our community services and support services. So what I've seen is that the playgrounds are kind of need a little bit of sprucing up. We need better planning, that's for sure. The community development area is the infrastructure development area is not sustainable at the rate at which we are going. So I want to focus on that. Climate change is one of the things that we want to focus on as a strategic priority in Monash City Council. And then, of course, I want to strengthen the support services that are available for the marginalized groups. That includes people with disability, that includes women who are experiencing family violence, that includes children with disability, that includes the voices that are not being offered the platform. I want to be that voice. I want to bring those people along on that journey. I remember when I was in the city of Casey, we used to have guest speakers. They were not the flashy, you know, uh, guest speakers who had the speaking skills and were from media, or these were people who were part of the community who wanted to come and share their concerns. And I want to highlight that, the most powerful thing is when you actually hear it from the person, not me paraphrasing what their issues are. So I really hope that I can give the community that pathway that will lead to improving their lifestyle, their daily grind, And this year has been such a difficult one for so many, even in terms of the economics of economic impact of COVID. So we want to be creative in bringing the economy back to Monash. I don't know if Angela, right? Angela, I don't know if you know this, but outside of the Melbourne CBD, Monash is the highest employer in terms of people who actually come and work in the city of Monash.
Really? I
So
didn't know that.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
we've got
Oh,
some
okay.
major institutes in Monash. We've got the Monash University, which is well renowned. We've got the CSIRO. We've got Monash Hospital, and a new hospital is being
Yes,
built
the
right
Heart
next to
Hospital.
it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So these are the kinds of opportunities that we can create to keep the economy going and bring in those jobs for local people. I want to be creative. I was just reading an article about how a city in Poland has done some beautiful artwork, murals in their community laneways and buildings which are really ugly, and they've done some creative artwork, and now it's become a
So a
tourist
facelift.
destination.
So they've had a
Exactly.
facelift by doing murals. Wow. Yes.
Exactly. You're promoting the artist, and you're boosting the economy as well, because
And you're
people want to come and
beautifying the
see.
place. Yes.
And these days, this era that we're living through is all about social media, right? Everybody wants their picture taken next to
Yes.
the
Of
new
course.
thing that's happening.
Instant gratification. Yes.
That's it. I want to take a picture with this new artwork and be the first one on Instagram to show it off. So these are the kinds of creative ideas we want to think outside the box. And I know that Monash has, I can't exactly remember, but I think Monash was actually founded in the 1960s. So it's an established community of 60 years. So we've kind of creased out the initial development sort
Yes.
of issues. Now we want to take it to the next level, right? And we've also got an aging demographic in certain areas. So what are the services available for, keeping those members of the community who've really worked hard all their lives, and now it's time for them to just enjoy. So are we giving them tax relief? Are we giving them the right amount of supports that they need? So these are some of my priorities. I hope, Angela, if you are living in Oakleigh, that you will receive my letter very soon, if you haven't already received it. And please have a look at my Facebook page as well, which is facebook.com/vote one Naureen. And I'm seeking community input on different topics. So I would love to hear back from you if you can send me a comment or something.
Thank you, Naureen. I'm going to read out. Hello, Sammy. So that's my daughter.
Hi, Sammy. How are you, Samira? Lovely name you have and a pretty face like your mom.
Yeah, she looks like me. She just looks like me. She's the one who
Lovely.
nags me the most, and she's my shoulder to cry on. I can call her
Oh,
anytime, even yes. So,
that's lovely.
yes,
Daughters become your friends, don't they?
yes. I've never treated her like a child. I think sometimes she says I'm too needy and I need to get off her case. Yes, so she's my sounding board for everything. So, yes, refreshing to see diversity on a councillor level. More power to Noreen.
Absolutely, Samira. Thank you for saying that, because when I moved to Monash, I thought I was moving into a diverse suburb, and this suburb which everybody wants to live in. And I attended the council meeting, and it was shocking for me to see that there were only 2 women out of 11
Really?
councillors.
In
2 women
Monash?
councillors in Monash out of 11. And diversity, to be honest, there's only one man who is a person of color.
Okay.
So we are not seeing the diversity of our community being represented at the leadership level, and we need to change that everywhere, not only in councils. We need to change that in state government, in federal government, in in the CEOs and in private corporates. I mean, I know we can do it.
We
So
will
it's
do it.
just those
Our time will
we
come.
will. Yes, it's the glass ceiling, right, that we
Yes,
often talk about.
yes. And we need to
Um,
break it.
and I think also Australia has a unique sort of a community which is still emerging, where we haven't, we're still first generation migrants. So I'm hoping that the second and third generations will be able to break that ceiling. But we keep trying.
Yes, we do.
We keep trying. That's the message of hope.
So Sammy says murals are a great idea. So
I
yes.
agree. I agree. Dandenong is a prime example as well.
Yes.
They've done up their Indian precinct, the
Oh,
little
it
Indian
is so
precinct.
flash now.
Exactly. They've done murals. They've painted the light poles, and each light pole is painted by a different artist. So they bring
Oh, okay.
they bring their own flavor to it. They've done some amazing light work as well. Like they've put some lights in really dark alleys, and they've also put some community basketball courts in places you don't expect them to see. So all these young kids who didn't have anything to do now come and play
Yes.
basketball. What an amazing idea that is. These are small investments for a really huge gain. We need to engage our young people and our artists and our creative thinkers. Um, Sometimes I feel that they're not given, their skills are not appreciated.
So not given
So
enough views.
exactly, I have a lot of friends, and I think I've introduced you to one of them. His name is Sohail Yamin.
Yes.
He lives in the city of Casey, and he is an amazing, talented artist. There just aren't that many opportunities to go around. So these, I mean, and um, conversations like today will hopefully yield some more ideas. I bring one idea, you bring another idea to the table, and 5 people can generate 5 excellent
Yes.
ideas in 20 minutes.
Absolutely. It's all about collaboration, connection, and communication, isn't it? Those are the
Absolutely.
yes. Yes.
I'm a big believer in communication. I'm a big believer in networking. So
You know
hopefully we
everybody.
can.
And thanks to you, now I know everybody.
Oh, look, I mean, how long have you been in Melbourne, Saleha?
2004. So just
Oh,
a year
so
before
exactly
you.
the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's a small big city. I love Melbourne for that. It's got that it doesn't have that, I feel lost kind of feeling. It's very, you see people that in the shopping centers, and you kind of bump into people on public transport. So it's really lovely. I love the size of Melbourne because I've lived in New York City, right? In New York
Yeah.
City, you will never bump into people that you know.
No, I remember when I first came here, I was telling, in fact, I told Sammy, I said, I don't know anybody. Don't. And then I think a year later, she's like, are you going to say the same thing, Mom? Because every time she's gone shopping with me, she's met at least 3 of my friends. And
There we
this is
go.
it. I mean, they don't,
That's
she
lovely.
has been saying, do not call people over home because you cannot socialize, Mom. And we've been very good, so no, we haven't. So
Lovely.
here's a message from Ange. Yes, Ange, I will post it on my Facebook and I will tag you.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela.
Okay, there is Rupali who says she understands your passion.
Oh, yep, exactly. That's so true. I second, third, and fourth that comment. Thank you so much for saying what's on our minds so eloquently, Rupali. And I think women, women as we are today, we've only heard from women actually so far.
Yes,
So,
except for
uh,
Nikhil. Nikhil is, I'm
Nikki.
sure he's watching. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
So
And of course, this recording will reach other
everybody,
people
yes,
as well.
yes,
So, yeah, the message is not, it's not about men and women. It's about the collective collaboration, and that's what we've been talking about, really.
absolutely.
Uh, what we have said is that there are additional barriers for women to uh, I guess, avail the opportunities that are out there. That's all we're saying.
We'll get there. And here's another message for you.
Right. Mural on Hoddle Street. Beautiful.
Oh,
Excellent.
Sammy, you're spelling.
And Samira, have you seen the beautiful mural in Brunswick on the stacks where Jacinta Ardern is hugging a Muslim woman?
Scott, oh,
It's a beautiful mural. It's huge, and it's just such a sight to behold. I'll send you some pictures of it,
okay,
Salih.
I'll share it with Sammy. I put it on my Facebook.
Lovely.
And the last question of the evening.
Okay.
Why
Has it
should
already been an hour? My
it
goodness.
has been 42 minutes and 51 seconds. So time
Time
flies when
flies
you're
when you're
having
having
fun. Yes.
fun. That's right. There we go.
Yes, Sammy has seen it. She says, yes, it's beautiful. Yes, she knows every part of
Brunswick.
Melbourne. Yes, for
There
me,
we
it's
go.
Glen Waverley to Oakleigh, and now I know a bit more.
Salih,
um,
how we need to hang out more.
yes, we will. Maybe after this year, when
Of
things get to
course.
normal or whatever is normal. Yes. I haven't seen my girls since July. So I saw them in June.
Really?
Yes, yep. I haven't seen
Goodness
them.
me. Okay.
I would like
Right.
to
Well,
see them, but they are like not coming home because we've got to do
yes,
the right thing. So all
of
I want
course.
is to see them. Yeah,
Yes, I can imagine.
yeah. Why do you think voters should vote for you? The $1,000,000 question.
Yes. Look, I kind of thought about that, and yes, I would question a candidate as well who looked different, and I couldn't necessarily relate to their experiences. But look, even if you don't vote for me, I, my message is make an informed decision. Think about what the candidate that you're voting for is bringing to the table. If they are a prior counselor, what have they contributed in the past 4 years? Are you happy? Are you satisfied with their performance? So these are some of the things that we need to keep in mind, because the right to vote is a privilege. Many people in
Absolutely.
this world don't have access to democracy. They don't have the power to vote. So use your vote wisely. That's number one. Number two, about me. Um, I am a different package. I am a woman. I'm a woman of color. I'm a woman who identifies as a person of faith. I bring integrity to the table. I bring a lot of things that politicians are not associated with, actually. I was thinking about that. I'm an empathetic person. I'm compassionate. I am a grassroots person. I want to know what's happening in your life so that I can maybe do something to make it better. Um, I want to build a trusting relationship with my community members so that they can share their innermost thoughts and feelings with me. So these are some of the things that come with me. And if you believe that these are qualities that a politician should have, a fresh approach, a positive approach, a tireless person who will work for you, I'm a servant to my community, then vote for me.
Thank you. And can you just tell our viewers the area that you're representing? I mean,
Yep,
what does Oakleigh area ward mean?
absolutely. So Oakleigh encompasses Oakleigh and Oakleigh South, Clayton. It takes in a little bit of Hughesdale, Huntingdale, and then it also takes in a little bit of Notting Hill and Mount Waverley around Monash University,
Okay.
And just a little bit of Marambina.
Okay. So I'll listen to this and I'll put that in my post so that people know exactly what
I can send
suburbs
you a
you're
map as
representing.
well. Yeah,
Oh,
sure,
that will be
absolutely.
perfect. Okay.
I can do that. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Naureen. Thank you for coming
Thank
to the
you.
show. It has been a pleasure, absolute pleasure. And I'm sure I will see you soon. And all the very, very best.
Thank you, Saleha. I feel blessed to have met
Bye.
you, privileged to have been part of your show and your
Thank
first
you.
guest tonight.
Yes, thank you.
So, all the best for your future programs. I know
Thank
you've got
you.
an amazing lineup coming up next week, and
I
I am here
started
to
with the
help.
best. So.
No, I think you will change your mind by the end of the lineup that you have. But Saleha, thank you very much. And thank you to all the listeners and all the viewers and the amazing community that's out there. Keep doing good works, keep helping each other, be a voice of hope wherever you are. Um,
And
and we'll see you on the other side.
we will. Thank you,
Lovely.
everyone. Good night. Stay safe. Stay well. Bye.
Bye.